Hey everyone, buckle up because we're diving into a massive global showdown that's shaking markets, rattling world leaders, and could hit your wallet hard. President Trump is doubling down, claiming blockbuster trade talks with China are happening right now, but Beijing's firing back, calling it, get this, fake news. So who's telling the truth? And what does this mean for your job, your investments, and America's economic future? Stick around as we unpack this high-stakes drama with exclusive insights from the White House, Wall Street, and beyond. You don't want to miss this. Welcome back to the Focal Point, where we break down the biggest stories shaping our world. Today, we're zooming in on a heated back and forth between the United States and China that's got everyone talking. At the center of it all is President Trump, who's been touting what he calls very active trade negotiations with China. He's painting a picture of daily meetings, big deals in the works, and a new era of American economic dominance. But here's the kicker. China's saying none of it is true. In fact, a spokesperson for China's foreign ministry just called Trump's claims fake news. So what's really going on? Let's dive in. Let's start with what President Trump is saying. Earlier today, when pressed by reporters, he insisted that the U.S. is in deep talks with China. He even hinted at meetings happening this morning, but refused to name names, saying, "We may reveal it later." Classic Trump, keeping us guessing. He brushed off China's denials, suggesting the media's got it all wrong. Now, if you've followed Trump over the years, you know he loves to talk up his deal-making skills. He's framing these supposed talks as a cornerstone of his plan to rebalance trade with China, which he says has been ripping off the U.S. for decades. But China's not playing along. A spokesperson for their foreign ministry stated flat out that no consultations, meetings, or negotiations on tariffs are happening. Zero. They're not mincing words, dismissing Trump's narrative as pure fiction. And this isn't just a minor disagreement. It's a public clash between the world's two biggest economies. The Chinese government, known for tightly controlling its messaging, rarely calls out another leader so directly. So why the disconnect? Are talks happening in secret, or is someone stretching the truth? To get a clearer picture, let's turn to the White House. Our sources, including insights from reporters like Caitlin Collins, paint a murky picture. Trump's team is sticking to the story that negotiations are ongoing, but they're light on details. When asked who's leading these talks, Trump dodged, saying only that teams are involved. No names, no specifics. It's a bit like being told a blockbuster movie is coming, but no one knows the cast or plot. What's more, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bastian dropped a bombshell yesterday, admitting it could take 2 to 3 years to fully rebalance trade with China. 2 to 3 years, that's a far cry from the quick wins Trump's been hyping. It suggests the U.S. is nowhere near a deal, despite the president's rosy claims. So, is the White House overselling progress to keep investors happy? Or are they genuinely making headway behind closed doors? The lack of transparency is leaving everyone, markets, businesses, and everyday folks, guessing. Now let's look at China's side. Beijing's calling Trump's claims fake news isn't just a jab, it's a calculated move. China's leaders know that public spats like this can unsettle global markets, and they're not afraid to push back. By denying any talks, they're signaling they won't be bullied into concessions, especially on tariffs. And let's not forget, China's economy is feeling the heat from U.S. tariffs, but they've got tools to hit back, like targeting American exports or devaluing their currency. This standoff is rippling far beyond Washington and Beijing. Wall Street's been on a roller coaster, with stocks jumping whenever Trump sounds optimistic, only to dip when reality sets in. Just today, markets climbed, shrugging off China's denials. But experts warn that if this drags on, we could see serious fallout. Higher tariffs mean pricier goods, everything from electronics to clothing. Small businesses, already stretched thin, are begging for stability so they can plan ahead. And if tariffs stick around long-term, some economists are whispering the R word, recession. To dig deeper, we spoke with Joe Mosley, former CEO of TD Ameritrade, who's seen market ups and downs. He's blunt. The markets are used to Trump's exaggerations and China's denials, which is why stocks rose today despite the drama. But he's worried about the long game. If tariffs go on for years, Mosley says, the probability of a recession becomes very real. He points out that Trump's a deal maker at heart, likely using tariffs as a negotiating ploy to force China's hand. But if no deal comes, the economic pain could hit hard. Then there's Ken Griffin, a billionaire Trump supporter who's sounding alarms. He says America's global brand, its reputation as a cultural and economic powerhouse, is taking a hit. We're eroding that brand right now, Griffin warned, pointing to tariffs and trade uncertainty. When even Trump's allies are nervous, you know it's serious. Small business owners we've talked to echo this. They're split on Trump and tariffs, but they all crave predictability. One shop owner told us, "I can't plan my inventory if prices keep changing." So where does this leave us? The US and China are locked in a game of economic chicken, each waiting for the other to blink. Trump's betting his tariff strategy will force China to the table, but Beijing's digging in, denying talks and daring him to escalate. Meanwhile, the White House is touting progress elsewhere, like a potential deal with South Korea, where Secretary Bastian says negotiations are moving fast. But a memorandum with Seoul is a far cry from a comprehensive trade deal with China, which would involve layers of complex agreements. The bigger question is whether Trump sees tariffs as a short-term tactic or a long-term vision. He's openly admired the McKinley era, a time of high tariffs in the late 1800s, which he credits for America's industrial boom. Never mind that the world's changed. Global supply chains, tech, and trade agreements make today's economy vastly different. If Trump's committed to tariffs for the long haul, Mosley warns, we're going to have a recession. But if he's bluffing to score a deal, we might see a breakthrough, though time's running out. Let's zoom out. This isn't just about headlines or stock tickers. It's about people. Higher tariffs mean higher prices, which hit working families hardest. Small businesses are struggling to predict costs, and farmers are caught in the crossfire as China targets U.S. agriculture. On the flip side, Trump's supporters argue tariffs protect American jobs and level the playing field. It's a messy debate with no easy answers. But the longer this drags on, the more everyone feels the squeeze. That's the story shaking the world today, folks. Are Trump and China on the verge of a deal, or is this all smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think this means for America's future? If you found this deep dive helpful, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. We're here to keep you in the know, so stick with us for more. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.